Everyone wants to become successful fast. They want big results, big checks, and big recognition, and they want it by next Friday. But the truth is, it's not speed that makes you rich, it's steadiness. It's the ability to keep showing up long after the excitement fades. See, the poor chase motivation. The rich build momentum. One is emotional, the other is habitual. One burns out, the other compounds. If you can master consistency, doing what's right long enough for time to reward you, then wealth isn't luck. It's inevitable. Let me tell you something most people never realize. Success doesn't belong to the smartest or the luckiest. It belongs to the most consistent. You can outthink me, outtalk me, even outsmart me, but if I stay consistent longer than you, I'll win every time. Because consistency beats intensity. The world doesn't reward what you do once in a while. It rewards what you do over and over until it becomes second nature. And when your discipline becomes your default, that's when you become unstoppable. Let me tell you something about success and wealth that most people never learn. Motivation is overrated. It's wonderful to feel inspired, to feel that spark that says, today I'm going to change my life. But here's the truth. Motivation fades. It comes and goes like the wind. And if your entire plan for wealth depends on how you feel, you'll never make it. The rich, the truly successful, they don't rely on moods. They rely on habits. They've learned that discipline is the bridge between desire and wealth. You can want success all you like, but wanting won't make you rich. Doing will. When I was younger, I had all the desire in the world. I'd attend seminars, read books, get fired up with new ideas. But after a week, I'd find myself right back where I started. Why? Because I was depending on feeling good instead of getting good at doing. Then one day, my mentor said something that changed everything. He said, don't count on motivation, build discipline. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. That one line transformed how I approached life. Discipline means you do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's making a plan for your day, your week, your money, and following it, whether it's exciting or boring. It's treating your habits like non-negotiables. Wealthy people know that discipline creates freedom. Every routine they follow, every promise they keep to themselves, builds momentum. And that momentum compounds over time into financial strength, confidence, and opportunity. Start by setting small, daily wealth-building actions. Save a percentage of every paycheck, even when it's small. Learn something valuable every day, even if it's only 15 minutes. Reach out to one person a week who can teach, challenge, or connect you. These small disciplines may not seem like much today, but they're the bricks that build your future empire. The results don't come immediately, they come inevitably. And here's something powerful. When you keep promises to yourself, you build self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. When you tell yourself you'll save, and you do it, when you say you'll learn, and you follow through, you start believing in your own word. That belief creates momentum that no failure, no setback can take away. Every day is a brick. Some days you'll feel like laying 100, other days only 1. But if you stay consistent, if you keep laying bricks day after day, you'll look up one day and see a wall of progress so strong it can't be shaken. That's how wealth is built. Not through excitement, but through endurance. Desire is the spark, but discipline is the engine. If you stay disciplined long enough, wealth becomes not just possible, it becomes predictable. Most people are searching for something big, a major breakthrough, a lucky break, a grand opportunity that will change everything overnight. But that's not how success or wealth works. The truth is far less glamorous, but far more powerful. The extraordinary is simply the ordinary, done consistently over time. The rich don't perform miracles. They master the basics and repeat them until they compound into something remarkable. I remember when I first began to understand this truth. I was impatient. I wanted everything to happen quickly. More money, more recognition, more success. I kept looking for a shortcut, some secret that the wealthy must be hiding. But every mentor I met told me the same thing. It's not one big thing that changes your life. It's 1,000 small things done right, day after day. At first, I didn't want to believe it. It sounded too simple. But I tried it, and it worked. The small, boring actions, saving a little money, reading a few pages, following up with one more client, writing down goals every morning, they didn't seem important in the moment. There were no fireworks, no immediate reward. But as weeks turned into months, and months into years, those small efforts began to build momentum. That's the magic of consistency. You don't notice the growth each day, but one day you wake up and realize you've created something that others call success. You see, repetition is the compound interest of discipline. Every time you perform a small, meaningful action, you strengthen the muscle that builds your future. The average person gives up because they can't see results fast enough. They quit at week 2 of saving, month 3 of learning, or day 10 of exercising discipline. But the wealthy, they understand that success is invisible before it becomes inevitable. You don't dig up seeds to check if they're growing. You water them, you trust them, and you let time do its work. So, track your progress weekly, not emotionally. Feelings fluctuate, but results accumulate. Repeat your high-value tasks daily, even when they feel dull or unimportant. That's where mastery is born, in the repetition of what matters most. And celebrate your consistency, not your speed. The world glorifies fast results, but long-term consistency always outperforms short-lived intensity. When you learn to take joy in the simple, steady actions that others overlook, you'll begin to experience something rare, momentum. It's quiet. It's patient, but once it starts, it's unstoppable. The boring things, done daily, create the beautiful life everyone dreams of. And the irony is, by the time others notice your overnight success, you'll have years of quiet consistency behind it. Wealth isn't found in the extraordinary. It's built in the ordinary, practiced with excellence, repeated with faith, and rewarded with time. We live in an age where knowledge is everywhere. Books, podcasts, courses, videos, all within reach of a single click. But here's the problem. People don't need more information. They need more application. Knowledge alone doesn't change your life. Consistent execution does. The rich understand this better than anyone. They don't chase every new idea. They find one that works, they apply it relentlessly, and they refine it until it produces results. That's how information turns into income. Consistency turns knowledge into power. When I was younger, I was guilty of what I call intellectual entertainment. I read books, attended seminars, filled notebooks with ideas, and felt good about it. But at the end of the week, nothing in my life had actually changed. I had the knowledge, but no results. One day, a mentor told me something I'll never forget. If you learn something and don't use it within a week, it's not learning, it's collecting. That statement changed how I approached growth. From that point forward, I decided that for every idea I learned, I'd take one action. I didn't need to know more. I needed to apply more. You see, knowledge is potential energy. It's stored power, but unless you act on it, it sits idle. A single good idea, acted upon consistently, will always outperform 100 ideas left in a notebook. The wealthy use this principle to their advantage. They take one insight, test it in the real world, measure the results, and adjust. Then they scale it. That's how a small thought becomes a business, how a single principle becomes a fortune. So here's the strategy. Act on at least one new insight every week. Don't just write it down, implement it, even in a small way. The key is not to collect knowledge, but to compound it. When you take consistent action, each lesson builds upon the last, and the results multiply over time. Reflect monthly on what worked, what didn't, and what you'll do better. This process creates clarity, and clarity creates confidence. Remember, education without execution creates frustration. But execution, even imperfect, creates transformation. The difference between the average earner and the wealthy isn't what they know, it's what they do with what they know. You can have all the information in the world, but without consistent action, it's like having a map and never taking a step. So, start today. Take that one idea you've been sitting on and put it to work. Test it, refine it, repeat it. One idea acted upon consistently is worth more than a lifetime of potential. Knowledge doesn't create wealth, action does. And when your actions become consistent, knowledge becomes unstoppable power. One of the biggest mistakes people make on their journey to success is believing that intensity will get them there. They work hard for a few weeks, get inspired, and push themselves to extremes, then they burn out, lose focus, and start over again. It's a cycle that keeps them average. The wealthy, however, play a different game. They don't chase intensity, they build integrity. And I'm not talking about moral integrity alone, though that's vital. I'm talking about personal integrity, the ability to keep your word to yourself over time. Because anyone can act motivated for a week, but only a few can act disciplined for years. When I was younger, I believed that success was about bursts of effort. I'd work hard for a few days, feel accomplished, and then coast. But the results never stuck. Then I noticed something about people who were truly successful. They weren't running on bursts of energy. They were powered by consistency. They showed up the same way every day, regardless of how they felt. Their reliability became their reputation. Their consistency became their brand. And their integrity, the quiet commitment to follow through on their promises, became their wealth. I remember one mentor who told me, "Don't just be talented, be dependable." That line shaped my life. Talent might open the door, but integrity keeps you in the room. When people know you're reliable, when they know you'll show up, deliver, and do what you say, opportunities start finding you. That's the power of consistent integrity. The strategy is simple. Let your reputation for consistency become your greatest asset. Be early, reliable, and prepared, not just in your work, but in your finances, your relationships, and your personal habits. Keep your routines sacred. Protect the structure that protects your progress. Most people think freedom means doing what you want when you want, but that's chaos, not freedom. Real freedom comes from discipline. It's the peace of knowing your habits are working for you even on days you're tired. Build habits you'd be proud to repeat for a decade. Every routine you follow becomes a vote for the person you're becoming. Ask yourself daily, if I repeated today for 10 years, where would I end up? That question alone will change your actions. You see, intensity makes noise, but integrity makes history. It's not about working harder once, it's about showing up again and again until excellence becomes your normal. That's the difference between the excited and the exceptional, between a spark and a legacy. Consistency built on integrity doesn't just build wealth, it builds character. And when you build both, you become unstoppable. One of the greatest secrets of the wealthy is that they understand the rhythm of time. They don't chase quick results or instant gratification because they know that true wealth, whether financial, personal, or spiritual, takes time to mature. The poor chase speed, but the rich trust seasons. Just like a farmer doesn't plant seeds and expect a harvest tomorrow, the wealthy know that everything valuable grows quietly before it grows visibly. Patience, my friends, isn't just a virtue, it's a profit strategy. I remember early in my career, I was obsessed with speed. I wanted success now. I wanted results now. I thought that if I pushed hard enough, I could force things to happen faster. But life doesn't work that way. You can't rush maturity, and you can't rush compounding. I learned that impatience kills more dreams than failure ever will. The wealthy, on the other hand, are calm planners. They understand that small daily actions, saving, investing, learning, compound over time into extraordinary results. They don't need to see progress every day because they trust the process. Wealth grows in silence before it ever shows in public. The early stages are often invisible. That's why most people quit. They plant today and expect a harvest next week. But here's the truth. In the world of money, time is either your best friend or your worst enemy. It depends on whether you respect it. Those who stay consistent and patient let compounding do the heavy lifting. Here's the strategy. Play the long game. Automate your investments every month, no matter how small. Set it and forget it. Whether it's $100 or $500, the habit matters more than the amount. Time will multiply your consistency faster than emotion will ever multiply your efforts. Don't measure progress daily, measure it yearly. The market fluctuates. Emotions rise and fall. But time smooths the curve and rewards the steady hand. And practice what I like to call calm persistence. Action without anxiety. Keep doing the work, but don't rush the reward. Trust the seasons. The farmer doesn't dig up the soil to check if the seed is growing. He waters it, nurtures it, and waits. The same is true for wealth. So many people live in a hurry, and because of it, they stay broke in more ways than one. But the ones who win understand that patience is not waiting idly. It's working steadily while trusting that results will come in their own time. It's knowing that compounding doesn't shout. It whispers. So plant your seeds daily and let time do its quiet magic. Stop chasing quick riches. Build deep roots. And when your patience meets your persistence, you'll find that time, once your biggest frustration, has become your greatest ally. That's when wealth truly begins to grow. Not with noise, but with quiet certainty. Most people sit around waiting for momentum to arrive, like it's some magical wind that will suddenly push them toward success. They say, I'll start when I feel ready, or I'll get serious when things slow down, or once I'm motivated, I'll take action. But the truth is, momentum doesn't show up for those who wait. It shows up for those who move. You don't find momentum, you build it. You manufacture it through consistent motion. One step, one task, one small action, repeated daily, that's how it begins. I remember when I started trying to turn my life around financially. I didn't have much to work with, no great resources, no big breaks, no perfect conditions. But I had one thing, I could start. I could move. I began saving just a little, reading a little, doing a little, and that little became a habit. The funny thing about motion is that it feeds on itself. At first it's hard. The first steps always are. But once you start, something happens. Motion creates motivation. Activity fuels energy. And soon, the weight of starting is replaced by the power of progress. The wealthy understand this better than anyone. They don't sit around waiting for motivation. They act their way into it. They start small, but they don't stop. They understand that consistency fuels itself. Every day they take one small, non-negotiable action: reading, saving, investing, learning, and those small acts compound into unstoppable momentum. So here's the key. Begin with one daily non-negotiable action. Something so small you can't make excuses not to do it. Maybe it's saving $5. Maybe it's studying 15 minutes. Maybe it's reaching out to one new person. Then track your streaks, not your goals. Goals are exciting for a day. Streaks build identity. When you've done something 10 days in a row, 20, 30, it starts to define who you are. You're no longer someone trying to change, you're someone who follows through. That's how momentum becomes part of your character. And don't break the chain. Even one skipped day weakens the trust you have in yourself. The moment you tell yourself, I'll skip today and start again tomorrow, you train your mind that commitment is optional. But when you refuse to break the chain, even on hard days, you build something stronger than motivation: discipline. The beauty of momentum is that once it starts, it's hard to stop. It carries you forward with less effort than it took to begin, but you have to start. That's the rule. Don't wait for the perfect day. Make this day perfect by beginning. Take one small step, do it again tomorrow, and keep doing it until motion becomes momentum, and momentum becomes mastery. That's how unstoppable wealth is built. Not by waiting for energy, but by creating it, one consistent act at a time. One of the biggest traps that keeps most people stuck is relying on feelings. They wait until they feel motivated to take action, or until they feel ready to make a change. But feelings are unpredictable. They come and go like clouds, and if you let them dictate your results, your progress will always be erratic. The wealthy know a truth that most overlook. Feelings are fleeting, but systems are dependable. Wealth is not built on moods. It is built on reliable, repeatable systems. I remember early in my career, I would try to save money, invest, or study only when I felt inspired. Some weeks I was disciplined, others I wasn't. I couldn't understand why my progress was slow. Then a mentor explained it to me plainly. If you rely on willpower, you'll fail. But if you rely on a system, you'll succeed even on days you don't feel like it. That was a turning point. I began to shift from doing what I felt like doing to doing what I had planned to do, consistently, every day, no matter the mood. The philosophy is simple. The rich trust systems over feelings. They understand that human emotion is volatile. Excitement fades, motivation wanes, life throws challenges, but systems continue. They make success predictable rather than wishful. You want your financial life to work like a well-oiled machine, not like a weather vane blown by the wind of your emotions. Here's the strategy. Automate discipline through your environment and structure. Automate your savings, bills, and investments. Set them on autopilot so your future grows whether you feel motivated or not. Use reminders, rituals, and routines instead of relying on fleeting willpower. For example, if you want to grow your skills, schedule the same time every day for study. It becomes a non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth. And don't set it and forget it forever. Review your systems quarterly. Check that your automation, habits, and routines are still aligned with your long-term goals. The wealthy don't leave systems to chance. They fine-tune them continuously so progress never stalls. Relying on feelings is like trying to sail a boat with no rudder. The wind changes and you drift. Relying on systems is like installing an engine. Steady, consistent, and unstoppable. When your actions are baked into your environment and habits, you don't have to push yourself every day. The system pushes you. That's how momentum compounds, how knowledge turns into income, and how small, disciplined actions become unstoppable wealth. If you want to be unstoppable, stop asking yourself how you feel and start asking how your systems are serving you. When systems run, results follow automatically, and that's the true power of consistency. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn, one action at a time. And the most reliable way to earn it isn't by waiting for a big win or a lucky break. It's by being consistent. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you send a powerful message to your subconscious. I can trust me. That trust becomes the foundation of real confidence, the kind that doesn't wobble when life gets hard. This is a principle the wealthy know intimately. They don't rely on bursts of courage or random fortune. They rely on the compounding effect of small, consistent actions. Think about it. If you promise yourself you'll read for 15 minutes every day, and you keep that promise for a week, a month, a year, something remarkable happens. You begin to see yourself differently. You're no longer someone who tries, you're someone who delivers. That's why consistency compounds confidence. It's not the size of the action, it's the act of reliability itself that transforms your identity. I remember early in my career, I would doubt myself constantly. I felt I didn't have what it took to succeed in business or life. But I committed to daily habits, writing down goals each morning, reading a few pages of a book, saving a small portion of income. At first, it felt insignificant. But as weeks turned into months, I noticed a quiet shift. That trust became confidence, not the loud, brash kind, but the quiet, unshakable kind that empowers decisions and attracts opportunities. The strategy is simple. Start by keeping small daily promises. Exercise, learning, gratitude, planning, whatever strengthens you personally or financially. Track your wins by journaling weekly. Seeing evidence of your follow-through turns habits into proof and proof into confidence. The rich don't rely on luck. They rely on evidence of their reliability. And here's the subtle shift. Make consistency part of your identity, not just your effort. Don't think, I'm working hard today. Think, I am consistent. Your identity dictates your actions automatically. When you see yourself as a consistent person, skipping a day feels unnatural, not inconvenient. You no longer push yourself with brute force. You act because it's who you are. Remember, confidence isn't built in moments of fear. It's built in moments of follow-through. Each promise kept adds a brick to your foundation. Over time, these small bricks create a structure so strong, no setback can shake it. Consistency compounds confidence, and confidence compounds results. Do the work, honor the routine, and trust yourself. That's how ordinary people become unstoppable. One of the silent killers of success is distraction. Not the dramatic setbacks, not the obvious crises. It's the small, consistent interruptions that quietly erode momentum. What you allow consistently becomes what you achieve consistently. If you let noise, interruptions, and scattered focus dominate your day, you will always feel busy, yet produce little of value. The wealthy understand that focus is not just a skill, it's wealth's protector. They guard their attention like it's currency, because in truth it is. Every minute spent chasing the wrong things is a minute your future self will never get back. I remember when I first started my career, I was ambitious, motivated, and ready to work, but I was constantly pulled in 50 directions. Emails, calls, meetings, social media, and endless opportunities sapped my energy. I was working, but I wasn't moving forward. One day a mentor told me, Hasib, You can't grow your wealth with a leaky focus. Protect your attention and everything else will fall into place. That was a turning point. I began scheduling phone-free focus blocks, removing unnecessary obligations, and treating my attention like money. Invest it where it multiplies, not where it disappears. The strategy is clear. Eliminate noise before it erodes your discipline. Distractions are like slow leaks in a bucket. You won't notice it at first, but over time they drain all your progress. Start with small, actionable steps. Schedule blocks of deep work where nothing interrupts you. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and protect your most productive hours. Then, make it a habit to remove one distraction weekly, something that has been quietly consuming your energy without giving anything in return. Over time, these small purges add up to monumental focus. Treat your attention like money. If you wouldn't spend $100 on a frivolous purchase, don't spend your focus on trivial matters. Allocate your mental resources to high-value tasks, learning, creating, networking, investing, and strategizing. Guarding your focus is not about being rigid. It's about being deliberate. When you consistently protect your attention, momentum builds automatically. Small, disciplined actions compound, and the results start showing in ways that are both visible and long-lasting. Remember, it's not just about working hard, it's about working smart and uninterrupted. Your distractions don't just steal minutes, they steal outcomes, habits, and confidence. Protect your focus, remove the noise, and you'll see momentum accelerate. Wealth follows attention, and those who master where they invested become unstoppable. Guard your mind, guard your day, and your future will guard itself. Most people think success is random, a combination of luck, timing, or being in the right place at the right moment. But that's a dangerous illusion. The truth is, success is predictable if you become predictable. It's the natural outcome of consistent habits, not chance. When your daily actions align with your goals, results are inevitable. If you show up the same way every day, making the same wise choices repeatedly, the world starts to bend toward you. That's the power of predictability. I've seen it in my own life countless times. Early on, I had no big breaks, no instant fortune, and no extraordinary talent. What I did have was a daily routine, saving a small portion of my income, reading every day, taking notes, following up with people, and learning from every mistake. At first, it seemed small, almost invisible, but over the months and years, those predictable habits accumulated. My network expanded, my knowledge grew, and opportunities began appearing, not because I was lucky, but because I was consistent and reliable. People knew what to expect from me, and the universe responds to reliability in ways that chance never can. The philosophy is simple. Live by design, not by emotion. Emotions are volatile, but habits are dependable. When your routines are aligned with your long-term goals, you stop needing motivation. Success doesn't feel like a roller coaster. It becomes the natural result of your predictable actions. The wealthy don't chase luck, they chase alignment. They make the right choice easy by designing systems that nudge them toward their priorities day after day. The strategy is to define your top 3 daily wealth actions. These are the non-negotiables, the habits that, if done consistently, guarantee progress. Then, build systems that make these choices the easiest path, automate investments, schedule study or work blocks, and remove friction that leads to procrastination or poor decisions. Consistency becomes your identity, not a struggle. Finally, stay consistent until success becomes your normal. Treat each day as a small building block and trust the process. When the actions are predictable, the results are predictable. This isn't about short-term wins. It's about creating a life where achievement is inevitable. Success doesn't strike randomly. It follows predictability. Be reliable in your habits, intentional in your actions, and patient in your results. Do this long enough, and what once seemed impossible becomes unavoidable. Most people think discipline is something you summon with willpower, like an on-demand engine you start whenever motivation strikes. That's exactly why so many get stuck. Willpower is fleeting, emotions are unpredictable, and life always finds a way to distract you. The wealthy understand a simple truth. If it's important, you don't negotiate with it, you automate it. The rich remove emotion from progress. They don't wait for a good mood to save, invest, or learn. They set up systems that make these actions automatic, inevitable, and non-negotiable. I remember when I first started my financial journey. I tried saving when I felt like it, or investing when I had extra. The result? Inconsistency, missed opportunities, and frustration. But when I began automating even small amounts of savings and investments, I noticed something remarkable. My progress no longer depended on how disciplined I felt on a given day. Money started working for me regardless of my mood. My habits became invisible engines, quietly driving results while I focused on other things. That's how you build unstoppable momentum, by removing negotiation from what matters most. The philosophy is clear. The wealthy automate progress, and the poor negotiate with it. This applies not only to money, but to self-development. Knowledge compounds just like capital. If you only learn when inspiration strikes, growth is erratic. But if you schedule fixed learning hours every week, consistently showing up, your mind accumulates wisdom automatically. Books, courses, mentors, all become assets that compound over time without daily emotional battles. The strategy is simple. Make your crucial wealth-building actions automatic. Automate savings and investments immediately on payday, before the temptation to spend arises. Schedule your self-education, 1 hour a week, or 15 minutes a day, consistently. These small, regular commitments, when systematized, turn into enormous advantages over years. Then, review your systems monthly rather than when you feel like it. Adjust, optimize, but never rely on motivation alone. Think of automation as your silent partner. It works whether you're disciplined or tired, motivated or distracted. Systems turn good intentions into real results. And over time, the compounding is unstoppable. The wealthy don't debate whether to act. Their systems act for them. The poor negotiate daily with themselves, often losing. If you want to rise above inconsistency, stop negotiating with progress. Build systems, automate your actions, and let your future self collect the rewards while your present self focuses on growth, not willpower. Consistency becomes effortless when it's baked into your life. Most people measure progress by what's visible, the balance in their bank account, the numbers on a spreadsheet, the bonus at the end of the month. But that's a dangerous trap. Money is a result, discipline is the cause. If you only celebrate the paycheck, you'll tie your self-worth to variables you don't fully control. The wealthy understand that true progress is invisible at first. It's built quietly in the routines, the habits, and the daily commitments that compound over time. They celebrate discipline before dollars, because dollars will inevitably follow consistent, intelligent action. I remember when I was just starting out. I used to obsess over every small financial gain, thinking each week's check was the ultimate measure of success. But I quickly learned that results fluctuate. Some weeks, opportunities align perfectly. Other weeks, unforeseen setbacks occur. Yet my habits, saving a portion of every dollar, reading daily, reaching out to mentors, practicing discipline, were consistent over months and years. These habits compounded into wealth, opportunity, and confidence far beyond what any single paycheck could have delivered. That's the invisible compounding that money alone cannot show. The philosophy is simple. Measure progress by discipline, not by dollars. If you build habits that are aligned with your long-term goals, the outcomes will inevitably follow. Dollars are a lagging indicator, but discipline is a leading one. When you consistently act with integrity, reliability, and focus, results become predictable, and financial success becomes a natural consequence of your actions rather than a gamble dependent on luck or timing. The strategy is to track consistency as the true measure of success. Keep a simple consistency journal. Each day, write down whether you completed your top non-negotiable actions. Review weekly, not by asking, did I make money, but by asking, did I follow my plan? Completion is the metric. Outcomes are the reward. Reward yourself for showing up, not for hitting an arbitrary financial milestone. This trains your mind to value what you can control and not what you cannot. Over time, celebrating discipline instead of dollars rewires your brain. You stop being anxious about temporary results and start taking joy in progress itself. You recognize that wealth is the inevitable outcome of repeated, disciplined actions. The rich understand that the secret to long-term success isn't chasing numbers, it's building habits. Measure yourself by what you do consistently, and the dollars will always follow. Build the system, honor the routine, and let discipline be your compass. The results will become unstoppable. Wealth isn't just about money, it's also about knowledge. Capital can grow, but it can also stagnate or vanish. Knowledge, on the other hand, compounds endlessly when fed consistently. The rich understand this principle intuitively. Every day they feed their minds because learning multiplies faster than money when applied correctly. A small, consistent investment in your mind today can return results for decades, far beyond what the same effort spent chasing quick cash ever could. Knowledge is the ultimate leverage. It works silently, invisibly, and relentlessly when you commit to it. I remember when I first began studying wealth and personal development. I didn't have a fortune, but I had a notebook, a few books, and 15 minutes a day. Each day, I learned something new, wrote it down, and asked myself, how does this apply to me? Over time, these tiny daily lessons compounded into strategies, habits, and decisions that transformed my life. Looking back, it's astounding how a few minutes of disciplined study each day could produce results far exceeding anything I might have earned working overtime or chasing quick wins. That's the power of compounding learning. The philosophy is simple. Knowledge multiplies faster than money when fed consistently. Capital grows linearly if left idle. But applied knowledge creates exponential returns. Every book read, every lesson reviewed, every insight applied becomes an invisible asset in your mind, compounding silently and multiplying your opportunities. Those who ignore this principle rely solely on luck and income. Those who embrace it build unstoppable momentum. The strategy is to make daily improvement non-negotiable. Commit to reading at least 15 minutes a day on finance, personal development, or mastery in your craft. But don't stop there. Revisit old lessons regularly to deepen understanding. Knowledge without reflection is wasted. Reflection turns insight into wisdom. Track your insights, and more importantly, their practical results every month. Ask yourself, which lessons am I actually applying? Where has learning converted into growth or income? This ensures that learning is not just passive, but active and compounding. Compound learning is like planting seeds in a rich field. Each day adds fertilizer, water, and sunlight. At first, growth is invisible, almost imperceptible. But over time, the crop emerges, multiplying far beyond the original effort. The wealthy don't wait for motivation or inspiration. They build systems to feed their minds consistently. Knowledge becomes their silent partner, compounding quietly while they sleep, guiding decisions, creating opportunities, and multiplying wealth far beyond what money alone could achieve. If you want to be unstoppable, treat your mind like capital. Feed it daily, review it monthly, and apply it relentlessly. Compound your learning, and it will compound your life. Most people stop when it gets hard. When the work feels uncomfortable, when progress seems invisible, or when life throws obstacles in their way, they give up. That's why scarcity persists in so many lives, because scarcity is reinforced by quitting. The wealthy, however, understand a simple but profound principle. Consistency turns scarcity into momentum. They don't wait for things to get easy. They continue, day after day, until success becomes automatic, until the habits themselves carry them forward, even when motivation fades. Pressure, difficulty, and discomfort aren't threats. They're the raw materials of growth. And consistency is the tool that converts them into power. I remember early in my life when I faced financial and personal challenges that seemed insurmountable. Every day was a test. Long hours, low income, little recognition. Most of my peers would have quit, or at least slowed down, hoping for an easier path. But I made a conscious decision to show up, even when tired, even when discouraged, even when results were invisible. I committed to small daily actions, studying, reaching out to mentors, saving consistently, building relationships, even when it felt uncomfortable. Over time, what seemed difficult became routine. The very acts that once required discipline began producing momentum. I didn't have to force. That's the transformative power of consistency. It converts scarcity, limitation, and struggle into unstoppable forward motion. The philosophy is simple. Scarcity is temporary if you persist. The poor stop when it's hard, reinforcing limitation. The wealthy continue until progress becomes inevitable. Difficulty is merely the testing ground for discipline. The more you persist through discomfort, the stronger your habits become, and the less reliant you are on fleeting motivation. Consistency creates a rhythm in life that carries you through challenges and eventually makes success predictable. The strategy is to use discipline as your ally. Commit to doing one uncomfortable task every day, something that stretches your abilities or forces you to grow. Build routines that survive low motivation, systems, schedules, and non-negotiable actions that continue regardless of mood. Focus on direction, not difficulty. Don't obsess over how hard it feels. Concentrate on where you're going and keep moving. Eventually, pressure becomes power. What once drained you now propels you. Scarcity becomes the fuel for momentum, and obstacles turn into stepping stones. The consistent person is unstoppable because they've trained themselves to act despite discomfort. They have built habits that no setback can undo. Discipline transforms difficulty into growth, and consistency transforms growth into unstoppable momentum. Do the work every day, even when it's hard, and scarcity will no longer control your future.